All right, Baker, what's up, man? Appreciate you guys sending these in and being patient with me. Right now, we're going to go through the 11 weaknesses in the throwing motion, and what I'd like to do is break this down and kind of make sure that you guys understand what's going on. So, trying to look this back hip. It's down to 100 degrees, so he's squatting pretty well. And that's, where a lot of that power is going to come from. So he's squatting, but you can see where his knee is bleeding forward. I don't want it to go so far this way. I want more of his hips to sit back. And if he can do this, where he sits his butt back behind that heel, I think it's going to be a better motion, and he's going to drive better with his groin and to be able to push a little bit harder. So power to the back leg is not crazy, but we definitely need to squat more with his hips. So I think he would benefit from doing some of the drills out of the power to the back leg. He can definitely benefit. So right here we get into the next weakness, which is an internally rotated front knee. So we're gonna see where his knee goes. It doesn't move, which is fabulous. So there's no issue in the front leg. That's a great thing. What I do notice right here, though, is it's about 76 degrees. So what he should be doing, I think, is he has the ability to push for a longer period of time. Right here you can see how his leg is extending. He should be driving longer and farther. Because it's 76 degrees, I think he can get, what I like to see is about 110. So I think he can get another foot, maybe even a foot and a few inches further out. That's going to help him drive for a longer period of time. His hips are going to speed up. His chest is going to extend. There's going to be some positive things. So that's where you can get into. I don't necessarily like towel drills, but his extension with his legs, he's got to learn how to extend and be comfortable in that. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking of some drills that you guys can see on on our website, which is walking wind-ups, walking torques, box drill 1, box drill 2. All of those are going to be working out of extension, so that should help. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is posture at ball release. So I think this is going to help him a lot. So this is his posture at ball release, and this is his posture when he starts. So he goes down and has to really change axis to rotate. So I want to reduce that. I want to reduce this head movement from here to here as much as I can. How do I do that? I'm going to teach him something that is not necessarily orthodox, and a lot of people don't like it. But it works because he's a B, almost a C posture. So this is a posture, this is a B posture, and this is a C posture. He's almost a C posture, but he's a B posture. So what happens is there's a lot of people who are going to force him to not do this, and that's where his arm slot is. So if you change where his posture is, you're going to change his arm slot, and that's not what we want to do. So in order to not change your arm slot, we've got to bring your back. When you bring your leg up, you need to bring your leg up to your body. When you do so, I want your upper body back at this line. If it started at that line, we'd have very minimal. You start here and end here. There'd be a lot of wasted energy minimized, and your rotational power would go up. So that's something I want you to work on, just keeping that, instead of bringing your chest down and then having to bring it back, you can just bring your leg up to keep your chest back and reduce those extra movements, those wasted movements. All right. So that's posture. So let's look at release point. So between here and here is the release point. I can't specifically see where it is, but I want to be beyond that front foot. Chances are, if you increase your length of your legs, you're going to increase your power, but what's going to struggle is your release point for a while until we fix that. So we start with our stuff. When we're working on something, we're going to start on the bottom of our body, and then work up to our upper body. So release point, I think it's late, which is good. We want late release as much as you can, because you're going to have more movement. There's less stress on the arm. There's higher velocity, so there's a lot of benefits to that. So I think you're okay there for now. All right, so now we're going to get into our stacking. And I think this is where I can help you. Your back foot is pointing this way, and I want it to at least point even with the rubber, at least even, if not turned in a little bit. What that's going to do is it's going to allow your knee to be able to stay at that position. And what we're going to do is we're going to stack your upper body back over that back foot. So I'd like to see him stack, and this is part of the stacking issue. I think he does have a stacking issue. This upper body has got to be, right now you're in attack position, but it's going downward. I want your upper body to be facing up. So your back shoulder is going to have to rotate down to here, and your front shoulder is going to have to rotate up to there. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to push for a longer period of time with your lower half. And so you can see how your upper body is going forward, but it's also going at a downward angle. And I want to maximize your power, you want to stay back for a longer period of time with your upper body. So when you hit that front leg, you're a little bit far back, if not even. So that's going to help a lot. So I think that stacking is huge for you. We're going to look at front glove. You have a very good scap pinch in the back. I can see your throwing arm. You're pinched well. Your front glove pinches well as well, and that front shoulder blade is pinched, and you do a good job. It's pretty good. So no issue with the front glove. I think the front glove is pretty good. Now we're going to get into high elbow, which I don't think you have, but I'm going to measure anyway. So you're going to measure both off both shoulders and out to that elbow. It's about 82 degrees. We want it to be 180, so that's not an issue at all. I think it looks pretty good. You would be surprised at how many players have an elevated distal humerus, or it's down. They have a lower elbow. It's just very interesting. I did see this where he starts to push his elbow first instead of his chest, and that's something we're just going to keep an eye on. I don't necessarily like that. I want to make sure that his scapula, his shoulder blade, is in a good pinch right there. I want to keep that there as long as I can and let that chest go first and then the elbow and then the wrist. So timing wise, maybe some of those drills from the shoulders or from the high elbow, that might help keep him connected. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking final arcs and 45-degree knees would help him a ton, just getting that in the right position and delaying the chest. Also, up trampolines, part of the arm care that we do, 90-90s, all of those things are going to contribute. Once he does the whole program, I think it's going to help as well. So that's pretty good. And then we're going to get into chest extension. So I'm gonna take it off of here so I'm gonna measure off his back hip, and then I'm gonna measure up to his chest, about 38 degrees, which is not bad. I'd like to get in the upper 40s, 48. So what I'd like to see happen, and what he does really well, and I don't want you to take this as, oh crap, I got a lot to work on. All of these are influenced. So you fix one, and then all of a sudden your other one fixed. So you do a great job of getting your front knee back, and what you do is you snap that knee back, and the hips rotate through, which is a positive. And your chest, once we fix the length in your legs, your chest might not want to go forward. So we've got to learn how to drive further towards that line. So that might be an issue later on. Right now, it's about 38 degrees. It's not crazy, but we need about 10 more degrees of chest extension. So that's an issue. And the last one that we're going to look at is what we call an arm fly out. And we have a little arm fly out, but it's not crazy. We want to make sure that instead of, when I come in this position, instead of letting the forearm fly out, we want to continue to push forward. And you can see this. You do a pretty good job of this. I don't think you have a huge issue. There's some kids that have very big issues with this, but I think you do a good job, both with your front knee and your chest extension and your front glove. I think you do a good job there. So not an issue. So just as a recap, power to the back leg could help. Just how he squats. Some of those drills are going to build strength. Front knee's great. I want bigger length. Like I said, 67 degrees or 76 degrees. It needs to be up to 110. And then chest extension was an issue. There's potentially a high elbow, a stacking issue with his upper body and lower body a little bit. So both are huge. There's a posture change that needs to be minimized, right? We talked about, bringing that chest back a little bit and bringing the leg up to your posture. And I believe that was it. So if you guys have any questions, online, if you get online before you watch this, you'll be able to see the weaknesses that are there. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.